Hi, I'm Jeff Morrow, and I want to welcome you to True Texas History. Past few days, I went ahead and covered the Fredonia Rebellion and what all happened there. And now that I've done that, we're going back to the filibusters and picking up where I left off. Now, today we're going to be talking about Zebulon Pike. He was an army officer that I include as a filibuster. I know that some of the historians don't classify him in that category, but his story has got a lot of filibuster type stuff involved, and still a lot of intrigue. And even today, when you check the historic sources, there's still a little bit of a mixed review on Zebulon Pike. Zebulon Pike, a young military officer, and he was born in 1779, and he was sent out on some expeditions to explore this territory that Spain had that included Mexico and many other areas. And while Lewis and Clark were sent to one part of the territory, the lower part of the territory, that's where Zebulon Pike came in. Now, I'm not going to cover his first expedition. I'm going to be covering his second one, because that's where he wandered into Texas and where the Texas piece fits in. Now, on this expedition, first of all, you have our good old friend General James Wilkinson behind it, who wanted to send him on this expedition. This expedition took place in 1806, and the men were, it was a small expedition. I think less than, I think it was about 20 men or so, and they were supposed to be disguised as traders. Now, along the way, they would do things like at one of the Indian villages, they saw that the Indians were flying a Spanish flag. They talked the Indians into taking down the Spanish flag and putting up the American flag. I mean, they did stuff like this as they're going through Spanish territory. A little bit of encroachment there. And this expedition was not initially authorized by President Jefferson at all. It's only afterwards, retroactively, that the president said, "Oh, yeah, we'll go ahead and approve it." But this is one of those where they took the attitude it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, because he never had permission to go on the expedition, but Wilkinson sent him on it anyways. And on the expedition, of course, he gave the storyline that he was there exploring the Red River and the Arkansas River. So if you're exploring the Red River and the Arkansas River, what are you doing down on the Rio Grande? I mean, that's what the Spanish wanted to know. Of course, Wilkinson had told him to intentionally veer off and head on into Texas, because we need to know what's there. We need to explore the territory. And his expedition did make it through parts of Colorado, Kansas, New Mexico, and Texas. Eventually, he was captured and taken to Santa Fe, where, an inquiry went down, and a General Salcedo grilled him. He felt that, he had a legitimate story, he just got lost. He was not intentionally doing things. Little did he know. And so he sent them back. Now, although Salcedo bought the story, the King of Spain did not. In fact, the King of Spain reprimanded Salcedo for letting Pike go without receiving an apology from the United States for encroaching on their territory. He saw what was up, and Pike came back via the old San Antonio Road. Now, unfortunately, while Pike was there in New Mexico, all the notes that he had, shout out to Amy Keller, happy Merry Christmas to you, Happy New Year. But while he was in New Mexico, all of Pike's notes were taken from him And the mystery was, where were they? Because they disappeared for about 100 years. Only after that they resurfaced and were published. And some of Pike's accounts of what he experienced as he was going through New Mexico and Kansas and Colorado became popular. Actually, it was one of those things that was popular in Europe, of all places. They wanted to hear about what was going on. And it was also on that expedition that he saw the mountain that is now known as Pike's Peak. Although he never set foot on it, it was named after him. Pike's Peak, I think part of the reason why it got to be so popular is because years ago during some of those Colorado gold rushes, people would say, to Pike's Peak or bust, and as kind of their sign of determination to reach that area. But Pike, once he did get back to Louisiana, he was was under this cloud of controversy because there were some people that thought that he was part of this Aaron Burr conspiracy. And I talked about the Aaron Burr episode before, and although Pike was accused of it, he was not involved. At least I have not seen evidence. I mean, the one that was involved was James Wilkinson, but when you're a general, especially if you're a general who's good friends with the president, you got to have a fall guy. And Zebulon Pike and Aaron Burr were good fall guys for General Wilkinson. Now, eventually, Pike was able to pull away from all that controversy of Burr and the damage it did to his reputation. But next thing you knew, the War of 1812 was going on, and he ended up dying a hero in one of the battles in 1813. An explosion took him out. But he's one of the interesting characters in the story of Texas. A lot of times, when you read the stories of Zebulon Pike, you don't hear the Texas angle very much. You hear about how he explored all these other places, but for some reason they leave out the Texas part. But you'll hear about it here. So until next time, this is Jeff Murrah. I'll try to keep putting up the episodes through Christmas. We'll see. If I don't see y'all until then, Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, and Vaya con Dios, my friends. And we'll see you later. If there's any topics or things you want me to cover in the coming weeks, feel free to leave them below. I'll get to them. Thank you. Goodbye.